To me, there's nothing scarier than a little boy that makes cat sounds. A little boy that goes meow, meow. A little ghost boy that goes meow. What's up, everybody? Welcome to day 2 of our 31 days of horror over here on Movie Epidemic. That's right. We're doing not 1 week, not 2 weeks, not 3 weeks, but 4 weeks of videos every single day, horror reviews, and a lot of J-horror. Specifically, the Ring and the Grudge series. Yesterday we covered Ringu. Today we're covering Ju-on the Grudge. That's right, everybody. Ju-on the Grudge. Now, this is a little movie that came out in 2002 when kind of Japanese horror was getting a little popular after Ringu. This played at a bunch of festivals, Toronto, Sundance, I think. And this was immediately a hit. As you know, the American remake came out in 2004, and actually on Amazon, it says that this one came out in 2004. I'm like, that doesn't seem right. So this is the story of Kayoko, a little bit different than our friend from The Ring. This one is still a vengeful spirit, but a little more traditional with the Japanese style. Movie starts out with the scariest thing you can possibly do, and that's be black and white, but the blood is still red. Nothing, you can't be any scarier than that, in my opinion. That is big scare factors right there. Right there, that's big scare factors. So it starts off with a husband murdering his wife, and crushing his cat. In the first 5 seconds, there's a dead cat in this. It probably reminds Chadley of work. If you remember our previous co-host here, he works at a pet store and kills cats all day. So this sets some sort of curse on the house. Everyone that moves in there kind of, I think, gets followed by these spirits. There's the current family that lives there is like a salaryman, his wife, and his mother. He sends his caretaker there to look after his mother, and immediately she finds the boy and a cat in the closet, and then she goes downstairs and finds Kayoko, this like black-faced, scary ghost mist monster, sucking on the face of the grandmother. And from here, it kind of spirals out of control, because this movie is not exactly linear. There's not really any characters that you can kind of glom onto or like have as a starting point, because it just switches so much. Like, this is more of a vehicle for the kill with the shifting perspectives than it is like an actual cohesive narrative. And to be fair, the scares are pretty good and the kills are interesting-ish, although they do get a bit repetitive after a while. I do think that does manage to be pretty scary. So as I was saying, it shifts perspectives a lot. It shifts to the wife. She comes home, finds the little boy upstairs and the cat, and then she gets killed. And then the husband finds her, and then the sister finds her or something, and then she goes to work, and the ghost is at work in the stall and abducting security guards, and you see it on the CCTV monitor, and that's really scary. To me, that's always scary. Although I don't think the character itself, like the character model, is just like a girl kind of with black CGI on her and like black face paint. I don't know if that's that scary, but it is kind of scary, the situations they put her in, like she's under the bed sheets when you're sleeping in bed and then she's under the bed sheets. That's scary. And they do, like, if you look at the poster, it's like a kid with black eyes and the white face. He's like not really that scary, you know? He's just a kid with white face paint on. But the situations they put him in where he's just like kind of behind people and they don't see him and shit, and he's wandering around, he's being real creepy, that is very good. That in itself is very good. They do some other pretty good scares where when someone's watching a newscast, the reporter's face is all fucked up. They do that a lot. They did that in The Ring too. They do that in this one. They also like take pictures of yourself, your eyes are blacked out and stuff. So they do kind of like the visual stuff that's pretty fucked up. A lot of times though, it's just moving from character to character so fast that you can't really tell who it is or what's happening, and then they just introduce people all the time. It's good. It is good, but it is like a little too uneven for me. Eventually, some detectives get on the case, and they're trying to figure out what's going on here. Like, so many people are disappearing, so many people are dying. It all seems connected to this house, maybe. They find a detective who was working on the case previously. He watches the CCTV video, and then that's when the ghost like comes up to the screen and looks in there. And that's the fear. That's the fear in his heart where he's like, I got to go burn down this motherfucking house. We can't have this anymore. And he gets there, and there's just randomly some girls in the house. And that's where it's like, this movie's like a little disjointed for me. Is like, there's just too many random circumstances where people are here to get the scary Kyoko virus. Then it's like, that person gets killed, the next person gets killed, everybody gets killed. It's just a vehicle for getting killed. So much so, the end is like the world is empty. She's killed so many people. It's like, it is like one of those things where it's like, wow, she killed a lot of people in this movie. It's not a movie that has that much meat on the bones per se, but it is like a fun watch because you are wondering, where is she gonna be next? Or the cat, or the little boy ghost. There are like, I know that like you kind of think about these movies like Ringu and The Grudge, and you think of Sadeko versus Hiyoko, and you're like, those are the two ghost things. But The Grudge really has more to that with the little boy and the meow boys. There's so many cats in this movie. There's like cats everywhere at times. Just cats absolutely crawling their little bone bodies around. Now, this is Ju-on the Grudge. There were two previous movies called Ju-on the Curse and Ju-on the Curse 2. Those were direct-to-video movies. This was the first one in Japan that went to theaters, and this is the one that broke over here in America. So this is kind of the one that is kind of the first one, but it's kind of not. So this is the one that I went with because it was on Amazon Prime and very easy to acquire. So if you want to go watch this, you can go ahead and go check it out on Amazon Prime. There are so many of these movies when I was looking into them. And most people say if you've seen one, you've seen them all. Because the characters are so limited in scope to what they do, they're just a delivery system to be killed, that I don't know that I'm going to enjoy watching a bunch more of these. I guess we'll find out in the coming 20-something days. This one I like quite a bit. I think it has a lot of flaws, but it is worth a watch, and it is scary at times. It is much more... I think this one's maybe scarier than Ringu, just from like a modern scare standpoint. It's not as tension-filled, I don't think, because there's not someone you're following around, but I do like this one quite a bit, too. This one is going to get the buck 3 stars from me. That's what it's going to get from me. So thanks for joining us on this 31-day journey. We're only on day 2. This is like a 30-day yoga challenge. You're really going to have to sit down and watch some of these. You're going to miss some. You're going to miss days. And you're going to have to sit down and bang out a bunch of these episodes. And I appreciate you being here with us. What's up, everybody? Next up on this episode, we have a review of Ju-on 2, The Grudge. That's right, there was a sequel. There was a sequel, and I did watch it. This was available on Tubi. I don't know if it is currently. We love Tubi, though. That's a fine streaming service to find the real weird shit in this life. A movie that came out in 2003, the sequel to Ju-on the Grudge, which is the sequel to Ju-on the Curse, which we haven't watched yet. Why did we not watch it first? I don't know. I just thought that this is probably where we should start, but I don't know if that's true or not. Leave a comment below, and if it's not true, I'll watch Ju-on the Curse tomorrow. How about that? I want to hear your opinions on that. Let's find out about that. So Ju-on the Grudge 2. This one, it kind of takes a smaller scope than the first one, as it follows a camera crew that are doing like a ghost hunters type show. I guess, I don't know, maybe they're just doing like a report or something. It seems like it's a show, though. It follows these like actors and hosts and directors of this show. Like they're all investigating the house, and the curse is only with them. It's not going random places, which I like, because that's kind of my problem with Ju-on the Grudge, is that there's too many characters that don't connect in any way. And it's like, it's too big of a scope that it's like taking over everybody. That it's just taking over everybody. That seems like a leap to me, a little bit. So it wouldn't be a Grudge movie if they didn't run over a cat in the first 5 seconds of the movie, but that's okay, because we know that cat's always coming back, even though it's splattered on the ground. Reminds Chadley of work. Let's get that out of the way. And then it just is, it's just going to come back. It's a ghost cat that you can hit a lot, apparently. And that's fine. But there is a good scare here, because while they're driving, Ghost Boy pops out from the little area where your feet go, and he grabs the wheel and just like cranks it. The Grudge movies are famous for being 6 segments or whatever. This one starts with Koyoko, who is an actress on the Ghost Hunter show with her husband. They both have a bad crash. The husband is basically vegetabilized, and she has a miscarriage of and like the blood is running down her legs into title sequence. That is some intense stuff right there. That is some really, really intense stuff. So as they're filming the ghost show, it kind of moves into that now. She sees Kyoko and then immediately has to like go to the doctor because she's fainting and stuff, and the doctor tells her that she's 3 months pregnant. And it's like, how could that be? Because I just miscarried a child while getting into a car crash. This one's interesting because it actually looks like it has a budget. Like, it actually looks like sets and like clear. Like, I did watch it on a streaming platform, like a real one, so they did have a high definition copy of it, but it did look good, even compared to Ju-On the Grudge 1, which I watched on Prime. This one does look like it had quite a bit more money going for it, and that kind of helps it quite a bit. So the first victim is Kyoko's mother, who succumbs to the attack from the Kyoko. From there, it moves on to the second segment, which is Tomoka, and she is the reporter on the TV show when they're like making the TV show about the ghost house. She notices that in her house at 12:27 every night something's banging on the wall and they can't figure out what it is. And then very quickly, this is a quick segment, very quickly they realize that it is in fact the future, and it's them banging against the wall as they're hanging by the neck from a bunch of rope that is made of hair rope. And this is like some very good visuals where the hair rope is kind of like spread across the ceiling and it's holding them, and this is good visuals. This is the shit that you steal for an American remake, is hair hanging. That is some good stuff right there. We move into Megumi, the Megumi section. She is the hairstylist for Kyoko, and this one is where it kind of gets a little silly for me. This is basically the Kyoko character, the the ghost monster, comes to her via a killer wig, because she's a hairstylist, right? So she's brushing wigs and shit, and a killer wig kind of fucking grabs her and chokes her out or whatever. That's a little bit weird, but that's kind of fun. That's a kind of fun little segment. We move on to the director's segment. His name is like Kisuku, I think. Him and Kyoko are talking about what's happened and how everyone's dying that's on the set. And they go back to the house to investigate, and they see Megumi, and they're like, wait, she just died. How could that be there? They go to the house, and they find a student called Shiharu. And then then it moves into her segment. She was also working on the show as like an extra or something. She's definitely on the set of the show. She essentially gets trapped in like visions of scary stuff and tries to escape the house but cannot. That's another really quick segment. We move into the Kyoko segment. This is the meat and bones. This is what we're looking for. The director arrives at the house, finds Kyoko unconscious. And this is where they have a really good scene where she finally does birth the baby that she was pregnant with, and it's really scary. All the doctors and stuff get fucked up by essentially Kyoko crawling out of a woman's pussy, like in that Game of Thrones episode where the demon crawls out of that girl's pussy. That's the only episode of Game of Thrones I've seen. I saw it on accident. Someone was watching it. I watched it, and I'm like, this show seems fucked up, and I didn't watch any more of it. So let me know in the comments if I should watch Game of Thrones, because I don't know. I've never watched it. From here, we move into the final segment. It's a little epilogue where you see Kyoko a few years later. She's got her little tiny girl. She looks a lot like Kyoko. She's got like the hair in front of her face, and it's very scary. They're walking on a bridge, and like this little kid walks by them, and he turns around, and he sees her push her off the bridge as she tumbles down the stairs of this bridge, and cracks her coconut open. And that is it for our dear Koyoko. Sorry. They have very similar names. I don't know why they named them like this. It's like too similar for me to even know. That's like if you called one of your characters William and one of your carriers Willem. It's just too close for me. This one I like a lot. I actually like this one more than the Grudge 1. Ju-on: The Grudge 1 because it just is more coherent. It looks better. It's scarier. It has real scares in it. It's a clearly higher budget. It's clearly has had a script doctor to it because there is so many moving parts, but at least these ones relate to each other in a more cohesive manner. And I think I'll have to give Ju-on the Ju-on to The Grudge 4 stars. This is so far my favorite one. So far my favorite one of the Ju-ons. I will see how that holds up in future viewings. We're gonna watch a bunch more Ju-on movies. Hopefully you don't get too tired of it. I know I'm tired of it already. I know I'm tired of making these videos, and it's only day 2. So let's figure it out, guys. We shouldn't have done this. We shouldn't have done 31 days. I don't know why I thought this would be a good idea. It's impossible. Literally impossible for me to do this, but we'll see if we can do it. All right, so leave me a comment if you liked Ju-on: The Grudge, Ju-on: The Grudge 2. Let me know if I should watch The Curse, and you can go ahead and give us a subscribe, like, and whatever else you do. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at movieepidemic.com, and that's all I got for you today. See you guys tomorrow with more movies. Bye.
Why don't you play us something, baby? Why don't you play us something? Why don't you play us something, baby?
Start? I don't feel so good.